Yeah, I wish to make this video. It's the first in a long time because I want to get a few things off my chest. Two things happened yesterday uh, that have really given me cause for reflection. The first thing happened on my blog, um, and then the second was a message, if you like, that I got that things are changing for me. Um, so I'll talk about both of those things um, in turn. About 11 years ago, I had a real collapse in my health. Previously, I'd been a practitioner of acupuncture and had been able to help many people. But after an accident off my horse, that became impossible. So I became involved in transition towns and ended up setting up my own uh, blog to get things off my chest, because there were certain themes that I thought were really urgent, and I thought the more evidence you put out there, people might be persuaded by it. And as I've discovered more and more about the ways in which the world is really run, I've run foul of the system, and have been censored mightily, especially in the last 2 years. And I often used to have run into roadblocks, that things just weren't working for me. Um, and I had to sort of problem solve. And at one stage, I had about 2 or 3 computers, so if one didn't work, then I would work off the other. And it took quite a lot of mental and emotional energy, and that's something that I really don't have. And I've been finding it harder and harder to do the blog, and I've had a real think. I've just put stuff up that I think, if there's something urgent that I want to get off my chest, or if I want to sort of discuss something that's a little bit more philosophical, I do that. But yesterday I had similar problems. I I put something up, an article, and then I tried editing it, and then when I did that, nothing would work. I had to try several times, the same reaction. It wouldn't incorporate my changes. I had to go and start again on my other old blog and transfer that over, and then the same thing happened again. And finally, after quite a few goes and trying to restart and turn the VPN on and then do what I wanted to do, and then finally I just was going through my messages, and I found this message. I'd put something up that was really important to me about what's in people's blood, and it was of personal interest to me. And so I spent quite a lot of time on this several days ago. But yes, yesterday, going through the uh, the comments, I found what I thought was, well, it was a very direct, if not rude, sort of comment, just sort of saying, uh, you know, uh, telling me that the formatting was wonky, and that's something that I find just often, frequently. Things just don't happen as they should, and then I was sort of told, oh, get it right, and I get this a lot. I get sort of really rude letters, saying, "I'll get your team onto this, your editorial team," as if I'm some sort of media organisation. I'm not. I'm just a single person. I've had for a long time, I've had a fire burning in my belly, and I've had to get it out. I don't have any help from whatsoever. In fact, I've spurned offers of help, of people writing for me and stuff like that. And apart from the odd sort of donation, to pay for various subscriptions, I've never made a single penny from my 11-year endeavour. So I do take it rather personally, especially as my health is declining. So I've got no inclination. I've run out of steam. I can't, even though it's important to me, I can't go back and correct the item because it's hugely difficult. I practically have to start from beginning again. I can't just correct the formatting. So, so we have that on the one hand. And then the other thing that happened last night, I was sitting in this very armchair, and I had a kind of, a warning that I've had before. Call it intuitive or whatever you like, or a message from from totality or the Holy Spirit, that I'm about to have a very rapid change in my condition, even in the next few days. So I don't know whether that's true. We just have to wait and see. I'm not so dwelling on it. But what it has done is it's given me a sense of, if I was to depart from the scene imminently, what would be most important to me. So I just want to get this this message out. Before I took up blogging, I was an acupuncturist, and I specialised in treating people with allergies. And even yesterday, someone rang out of the blue wanting treatment. That's 11 years after I've retired, and then my partner Pam she meets people who still remember 10 years later how I'd been able to help their child with eczema or some sort of allergy. And the method I used to diagnose this was something called kinesiology or muscle testing. And despite what you would think it was pretty successful, as can be shown by a number of people that still remember what I did for them. So I've often used this to test things, not only in other people, but also to sort of communicate. And what I'm about to say is going to sound really weird. So I used to be an avid horse rider. We went out with some friends into a forested area, and I got on my partner's horse, who gave me the run of her life. And in the meantime, she lost the boot that she was wearing in the gallop. So we went back the next day to try and find it. An absolutely impossible job over a couple of kilometres. I had no idea where it happened. So I used this method. I used muscle testing and to sort of try and tell me where it might be. And then finally, I got the message coming in is stop here. So we did, and then after a very short search, within I don't know, just a very few meters, we found the boot again. I mean, that was probably a chance in a million that we would ever find it again. So, uh, yeah, that's my method of communicating uh, with whatever you want to call it, and it's not always accurate. It depends very much on how I pose the questions, but it stood me in good stead, and it certainly stood me in better stead than all my visits to doctors and specialists and the like. Um, so anyway, that was how I got this message. So that's where I am today. This wouldn't be the first time that I've put out a message like this, and somehow I always manage to come through. My modus operandi has been to use the energy, the mental energy, the physical energy that I've got. So usually, up until recently, it's been a couple of hours a day. Other times, I've just been able to, if I really wanted to put something out, like I did an item on the writer Tolstoy, and I just pushed through with that one, and then always after something like that, then I have to have a whole day or a couple of days rest. Uh, but what I'm finding is there's less and less of those opportunities. So this is the reason why I want to put this video out. If you suddenly sort of don't hear from me or stop posting, then you'll you'll uh, you'll understand. The other aspect of this is that I've just run out of steam. I mean, when I started 11 years ago, uh, I had a real fire in my belly. I wanted to get messages out about economic collapse. It was in the aftermath of 2008, about resource depletion, uh, you know, corruption in all its forms has become a bigger part of it. And then, of course, abrupt climate change. Uh, so, in many ways, in those days, my mind was sort of made up. But as my health has declined, uh, my mind has changed. I'm strongly about evidence and trying to provide that evidence, but I also have this strong sort of intuitive sense that I believe is it's not coming from elsewhere, but it's coming from everywhere around us, and I call upon uh, that as well. So over the 11 years, I've had various themes, and they're ones which I constantly come back to and can't leave us. I mean, peak oil and energy depletion would have to be would have to be one of them. So I think over the 11 years I've put out plenty of stuff, but I've just run out of steam, and yeah, given my own energy, as my attitude is really that if people uh, haven't got it by now, they're not going to. So I'm less about persuasion and just kind of warning people of what I think is really important. So that's all become far less important to me as the last 2.5 years have gone by, and the COVID thing, um, rather than going away, uh, shows every sign of getting worse and worse, even though some of the worst political excesses that we saw, they appear to have gone away for a while, but I don't think so. But I'm not of a mind to kind of chronicle the whole catastrophe and all the permutations and changes and contradictions and everything, because that's a full-time job, and it's something that I don't have the energy to apply myself to. So I'm pulling away a wee bit. This is not a resignation letter, but it's just an explanation of where I stand at the moment. And I'm hugely grateful. I can only judge people's responses by comments, and I'm hugely grateful to what I think are the minority of people that appreciate what I do and engage with it. You'll know who you are. And then there's the other smaller minority, I guess, who are just rude, expecting nothing, something for nothing. Just kind of assume that I've got a whole news team, that I'm something like CNN or something, so I can just put my people to work, which is not the case. If I have to make anything I put out involves huge amounts of effort, and I don't really have that anymore. So that's kind of where I am at the moment. I might follow this up with another video just trying to sum up what I think is most important at the moment. But that's it for now. That's Seymour Rocks reporting from down under.